We're gonna do a cute little snowy scene with a fox and a little bird, and originally they were two separate videos, but it makes one painting, so I put them together. What animal is always cute to you? For me, it's a fox with their little faces and their bushy tails. So cute. I'm gonna show you how to paint one, and it's so easy. And he's gonna be sitting in the snow. I'm gonna do this in my sketchbook, but you could just do it on watercolor paper. Watercolor paints. I mixed a little bit of reddish brown in with some orange, and then I tested it on a test paper to make sure it's what I wanted. Then for the head of the fox, it's basically pie-shaped, so it's a triangle with a rounded off edge. Then you add 2 more triangles on the top of the curved part for the ears, which I'm sure you knew those were ears, and I probably didn't need to tell you that. Then the body's gonna be kind of a long, narrow U, and I did just an outline to start with, and then I went back and filled it in, leaving a little V of white space for like the cute little fur on his chest. And a floofy tail. I started kind of with the tip of the brush and then pressed harder at the end. I told you it was easy. Okay, now while this dries, we're just gonna put in a very simple snowy background. You wanna get a whole bunch of blue, like straight from the pan. Then we're just gonna put a line in, like a wonky line. With your brush loaded up with paint, you're just gonna make a line of snow behind him. Then I added a little bit of green to my brush, and I just touched that wet paint in a couple spots. I grabbed a bigger brush and put some water on my paper, and then I just pulled that paint up into the water. This is one of my favorite ways to paint snow because it leaves a really dark line next to that bright white, which gives you that snow effect. Then I took the paint that was left on that brush and I just added a little bit around the fox. While this is still wet, you can splatter it with a little water to get some little snow burst effects. I don't know if snows make bursts. It's okay. There it is, the bursts of snows. I'm really good at talking. Now we're gonna add some pen details, and I'm gonna use a brush pen, but you can use whatever kind of pen you have. We're keeping this super simple. We're just outlining the fox, and then adding eyes and a nose, and I left a little bit of the white paper showing at the tip of the tail, and his long legs and a little place for him to sit, and a white pen to add highlights to his eyes and nose. I know snow is not blue, but I'm gonna do a little blue splatter on here just to give it something else, because it feels like it needs something else. It was too much of something else right in that spot. I also did a little white splatter too. That's it. You can do this one in less than 10 minutes, and you do not need to know much about watercolor. This one will set you up for success. The other day we made this, but now this needs something. So we're just gonna continue our little scene. Watercolor paints. You wanna make a big puddle of something dark, like black or Payne's Gray. Old gift card. We're gonna grab some of the paint on the card and make tree trunks. All right, you guys have seen me do this before. We're just making tree trunks, and we did it for fall trees, and now we're doing it for winter trees because maybe I'm a one-trick pony. I don't know. You just touch the card to the paper, and it's gonna make like birch tree bark-ish. That's it, and then you go from the other side and you pull across from the other side, and you just use your imagination to think about what trees look like. And then I used the short side of the card because I wanted to make one branch that was like kind of flat because we're gonna add a bird. I made it go across the center of the book so that the pages would feel like they were connected, like in the picture. Obviously they're connected in the book. Then I used my handy dandy heat tool to dry it because I'm impatient. We're gonna put a cardinal right there. And I know you're like, I can't do that. You did the fox. You can do a cardinal. I'm gonna show you. We're doing this in real time. You start with the tip of the brush and then you press harder and then lift up. You're making like a little swoosh and adding a tail. And if you're nervous about it, practice it ahead of time. Just practice. And once it was dry, I used an orange marker to make a little beak. We're gonna continue this snowy line across the other page. Load up your brush with a bunch of blue. You're just gonna continue that line across the other page. Then I did go back in and add just a little bit of green just by touching that wet line of paint. Then I got a nice big brush and I just used some clean water to fill in some of that white space, allowing that line of paint to touch it and flow up into it. As I did this, some of the blue-green color got onto the brush, so then I just used that to fill in some of the other white space that was between the branches and a little bit down below in the snow. And just like with the other page, I tapped a little clean water on there to get some snowy effects. Let it dry. Couple pen details on the bird. You're just outlining the bird. That's all you're doing. And then for the little mask part, it's basically a triangle and some feet and a wing. It would have been nice if I did it all at once, but I didn't have the idea yesterday. I had the idea today, and I'm really glad the fox has a friend now.